All right, fam, man. We're back, and we're back with our second. Is this our third swarm report of the day? I think it's two. I think it's number 2 of the day, which is a rare thing for us. But we're going to keep these shows coming for you guys, especially with the way, man, the virtuals ecosystem is like ramping up. More projects dropping, more great quality builders coming into this space. I was chatting with some of the guys behind the scenes here about just the quality of these agents that are coming to the virtuals platform. And man, I got one of those right here live with you guys today. The PrimoAI team is here to talk about their agent that's live on virtuals right now. Gentlemen, what's up? I'd love for you to introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what you're building and then your background. And then let's get into your agent that's live on virtuals.
Great. Well, hey, thanks for having us on. My name is Jeff Warner. I'm the founder of PrimoAI. And in its simplest form, PrimoAI is a productivity tool. And it's designed specifically for real estate agents. The over 1 million strong army of agents that power the $70 trillion US real estate market. And we want to unlock their impactful, uncollected knowledge that really makes them distinct, unique, knowledge that people want when they go into real estate transactions, and knowledge that, quite frankly, real estate agents do not want to part with unless they get some benefit from that. And we want to use that knowledge to help them increase their value proposition. And we do that through this vehicle called PrimoAI, injecting agentic features to help them do that.
Well, what's so cool too, and we'll riff on this, I'm sure, in a few minutes, but when I first saw the PrimoAI listing on virtuals, I'm like, okay, like real estate, kind of, it's an agent in that world of real estate, and I'm like, I wonder how I'm going to use it, and I wonder how, traders will use it, and just people interested. And then I realized it's, I think, primarily for real estate agents to use, maybe even just to start, but it got me thinking so much differently about it. And again, I think we'll get into that a little deeper here in a few, but it's different. It's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to dive further in. Cool. Well, good to meet you, Jeff. If we want to go down the list, still Kedrick.
Yeah. And so my name is Kedrick Vandekar. I'm one of the partners at FewShot, which is formerly Sequoia. If my video is a little bit jumpy right now, I'm traveling, so my internet's not fantastic, but hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So yeah, I wanted to hop on and talk. So although FewShot has done lots of deals, PrimoAI is the first incubated and invested deal for FewShot, and so it's in a very different type of category than kind of the previous deals we've done. But yeah, I mean, if it's okay, I'm happy to give you sort of my take as to why we're so excited about this and what inspired us to want to actually incubate PrimoAI.
Yeah, please. And in fact, FewShot I'd pulled up this morning for what I was just doing some research, and I pulled it up, and I had so many mutual followers, like very high quality people, and I'm like, oh, okay, I need that's something I notice. I take note of who is following who and what projects they're involved in, and this one, yeah, just added a little something extra to Primo, that there was that attachment.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and we've been pretty deep in the virtuals ecosystem from the get-go, and so we're obviously very, very close with the virtuals team as well. So the reason why, so to like, in all honesty, I originally, and sort of so my partner is Anand Iyer, who actually founded Sequoia / FewShot. So we had actually previously been very skeptical of real world assets. It's a big narrative, but we were very skeptical for a couple reasons. One, I think that there's a lot of regulatory, or previously there's been a lot more regulatory uncertainty around real world assets. And two, I was very concerned about sort of bottlenecks around the on-ramps to actually real world assets. But I think a lot has shifted, obviously, over the last sort of 6 months. Obviously, we have a very friendly administration who's very pro-crypto. And we have some heavy hitters like BlackRock that's coming in now and as well as Ondo Finance, who are essentially staking their flag in the ground, saying real world assets is absolutely happening, and they're going to be pushing it aggressively. So I think that sort of caused us to shift our opinion about real world assets. Obviously, we are a AI powered venture fund, and so inevitably we're investing a lot in different AI projects, and specifically, we thought the intersection of specifically real world assets as well as AI agents was an interesting area. And so I've known Jeff for some time, have seen him build other companies successfully, and when we started going down this path, we thought that he's for a long period of time thought about specifically real estate agents and their role in this ecosystem. And so, whenever you're breaking into a new industry, when you're breaking into a $70 trillion industry, the people don't necessarily open arms, say, yeah, come in and disrupt our industry. You have to have a very clever wedge in order to be able to have a shot at actually disrupting that. And so that's one of the reasons why we got so excited with Jeff and obviously his team, and he'll talk more about that and their very impressive background. But also the fact that because we're embracing, so by the way, real estate agents, for anybody who's not familiar with the real estate space, real estate agents people have tried to disrupt real estate agents for years. They try to wedge them out and cut them out of these deals for a long time. Nobody can do it. They're in it. They're locked in for lots of really interesting reasons, but they're locked in, like it or not. And so when Jeff came and talked about leveraging an approach where we actually embrace real estate agents, and through an agentic, and I think this is the key, an agentic interface, offer them productivity to do the things that they want to do, acquire more properties to sell more properties, access data and get compensated for the data that they share. I thought that was a really interesting, powerful approach, because again, we are essentially utilizing as a Trojan horse this army of over a million real estate agents in the United States. And so, that's where we kind of started getting really excited, saying, okay, that's a viable approach. This could actually work. And so, as our background is obviously in working in the virtuals ecosystem. And so we got really excited about the idea of PrimoAI turning into an orchestration agent. And so if you believe that the world is going towards tokenization of eventually everything, then real estate is inevitably going to be in that path. And so if PrimoAI can sort of position itself as a productivity tool initially, but then also an orchestration agent across all the different agents, whether that be, if you can imagine a world where ACP is starting to really blow up, and we see, ACP enabling, other agents that are focused on legal contracts, other agents that are focused on potentially title, other agents that are focused on all the other aspects that go into executing a real estate transaction. And because they're the productivity tool for real estate agents, it's a natural extension for that. And so we think the sky's the limit on the potential here. We love the fact we're obviously very bullish on ACP, and we love the fact that we're sort of planting our flag in the ground as to saying, okay, we believe that Primo is going to be the orchestration agent for this massive, massive industry, which I think is eventually going to tokenize. To the point where, I know we've talked about this before, we're investing at a higher valuation as a venture capital firm. We're investing at a higher valuation than the Genesis participants, which is unusual, right? Normally it's the exact opposite. So it's the other way around. But
which shows it shows the belief and conviction you've got to have in this thing, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. And also we're locked up. We have our vesting alongside the team here. So it's we have a lot of conviction as to where this is going. When we take swings, we take big swings. And so, we don't look at this as frankly as anything we've ever seen in the virtuals ecosystem. We think this is unique. Yeah. It's why we are working so closely with it and why we're so bullish on it. So that's sort of I wanted to at least kind of come in here and give the investor and incubation partners perspective on this stuff. And I might have to drop in about five minutes or so, but at least I want to provide that for you guys. Hopefully I didn't drone on too long for you.
Dude, no, it was great because you touched on some things I definitely want to get to. Maybe you're not around for that part, but we'll carry it still. But about disruption and how, like, there's this big fear that most people have about AIs replacing your jobs. Like, that's a fear everybody has right now. In the next 5 years, how many jobs get replaced? And I would imagine agents would feel threatened by that. But you presenting it as something that makes you better at your job and enhances your job, it's going to make you more productive, maybe makes you leads you making more money too. Who isn't going to say yes to at least trying that? But I think those of us who are paying attention to AI know it will actually do that. It will actually make you better at your job. So it's a great Trojan horse to get it in there. And again, it speaks to an audience that, look, it's not us degens per se. We may not be the users of this, although we're going to talk, and maybe we are to some degree. But the users of this, it's going to be, I think you said, 1 million plus realtors, real estate agents, across here in the States. Like, it's fascinating to me. So, yeah, I think we'll also get a little deeper into that. Give Eric a chance to introduce himself here too, if you want, Eric.
Oh, sure. Eric Warner, software engineer at heart. I love building platforms. And I got my start in web conferencing platforms and built through there, and then jumped into cybersecurity for the last few years, a long time. And so I was working on SOC applications, and now I'm working at a company also joined with this that, not joined directly with this, but that works on protecting and testing platforms. And so all that knowledge that I gained through integrating platforms and the technology knowledge and working with Jeff, it kind of brought me into this land. And the one thing that I discovered going through this and working with real estate agents is that the interfaces that they work with, they're kind of allergic to it. And if you look in like the Web3 land compared to the Web2 land, even Web2's kind of gotten to this point where things have just gotten overly complicated. So my passion has started leaning towards, hey, how do we make this ease of use and ease to our users that are jumping into this new world that don't understand it? And it seems like a lot of the apps I run into is trying to make them understand what's happening underneath in the platform, where I kind of have a different analogy on it. I want these agents to be able to come into this platform and understand that if they do these activities, they will just be rewarded for it. And they will be rewarded with these tokens and coming through on that side. And it's easy for them to use because some of the agents that I've been introduced to, and I would go along with them with an app, if it's any way complicated where they can't get real quick to what they need to do, entering data, getting data out, going to it, they're not going to adopt to it. So it's like, it's my passion right now to make this easy to use from an interface standpoint. And that's where the wallets come in, and tying in the wallets, where I've gone through this, even with my knowledge on how it works. Sometimes I get to sites and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Where do I get to this? Where do I go? Mm-hmm. So that's where my passion is in this project right now, because the integrating part, which I love as well, it's something that we're going to be able to do and drive through on that side. And when you touched on the agents and how they're going to disrupt the land, it's in the world of developers. I hear it every day from my developers that I work with that, oh my gosh, it's going to take my job. It's going to create all the code. It's going to do everything for us. But right now, it's a tool. It's a tool that we use to help us be more productive and faster and quicker. And that's where I come into this to make sure this ties together and comes in as a cohesive unit for the agents to use easily.
Man, incredible. Really, like this whole, like, well, the vision, and I get the vision because I've read through Light Paper website description. This Andrew, I see you in the chat. I think you're going to love this, by the way, buddy. I'm pretty darn sure. In fact, I think a lot of you guys are going to like this one a lot. Okay, if you were given the like a I don't know, 20-second, 30-second elevator pitch for what PrimoAI is, which will probably change as as we go down in the months, years, whatever. But what is it right now when it launches?
PrimoAI, as it is right now when it launches, is a productivity tool that starts with real estate agents. And it starts with real estate agents because they know the most and are the most integrated into the real estate market, period. As they gain access to these productivity tools, they will share these productivity tools with everyone because it's a way in which they can share their increased value proposition. They'll share it with buyers and sellers. They'll share it with everyone. And when they do that, we will be onboarding millions and millions of people into the virtuals ecosystem. They will have their own agents. Those agents are going to want to interact with everyone through the ACP system to benefit everyone within virtuals.
What does their interaction look like? Well, so you have a real estate agent who's shown this product, and they'll get some sort of pitch on what they'll use it for, how it's going to help them. What would that sound like?
So in essence, when you get this app, you are basically getting something that looks like almost every other real estate app initially. So you go on Zillow, you go on Redfin, any of the international apps that are out there for anybody internationally outside the United States that's listening. You will see listing information for residential homes. You will see sales data. You might see an AVM, which is an automated valuation model for the actual price. All right. We provide all that. All right. We provide all that. And we're not looking to replicate what these people have already done. We're looking to build on top of all the hard work that they've done and enhance it. All right. And what they get out of it then is an easy interface where they can simply tell PrimoAI, this is what I focus on. I'm focused on this neighborhood. I'm going to draw you a map around this boundary. All right. This is what I will answer questions about different homes, provide information that is not in the MLS, that is not in the public records. What do you think this house will sell for if it was on the market in the next 30 days? What type of market signals do you want to provide? Do you think inventory is going to go up in this market in the next 30 days? How much of this lot is usable, or is it all slope? We're talking about maybe 5 easy questions on each house that's going to be prompted by an agent. All right. When they do that, it automatically generates a dashboard that is personal to them. So when they load up this app, they see a dashboard then that is personal to them, that uses their data and combines it with all the analytics that we already have.
Do we have a mock-up of the dashboard? Is that out there yet?
That's going to be deploying in July. Okay. That's just simply a mock-up in terms of what you'd see some of the questions being as an input, not as an agent prompt at this point yet. And then once they do that, that's going to be a productivity aspect that they can immediately share with their clients and potential clients. Now, one of the things about real estate agents that people may understand, but they don't, they're always everybody's best friend when they're looking to sell something. And people always second guess when they see what they're being paid out of escrow. It's just a natural human reaction. But they bird dog the market like no other. They spend time in the market. They know the buyers and sellers, and they're just waiting for any excuse to call someone. They want an excuse to call someone. We're giving them that reason. We're giving them this tool, and they will gladly introduce this to their buyers and sellers because it'll be easier for them to communicate. As they do this, their agents will be trained on all this knowledge that they put in place. It's going to be something as easy as sitting on the couch at night when you may be watching TV. They already look at Zillow. They're going to be looking at this and just going to say, yeah, I'm going to comment on this. I'm going to comment on this. I'm going to educate my agent more and more. And that information is secure. It's not going anywhere. No one's using it against them like they accuse other platforms. It is their data. Then they can share that with whoever they want to. All right. They can share it through their agent. Their agent goes out there and starts to interact with other agents, because buyers and sellers, when they come on, they're going to be telling their agents what they're looking for. So let's say a seller says, I'm looking for a house in this coastal area. I'd like a nice open floor plan. I'd like to deal with an agent that knows this area. Bam, there's going to be introductions that happen right there. And one of the things that real estate agents want more than anything else, they want leads. And they don't want to feel that they're buying back leads from data that they've provided for free. These are leads that they're getting based on simple knowledge, presentations of knowledge that someone will want from them, and then they can decide whether they want to proceed or not. So those introductions will happen. This is the key to get real estate agents to participate. And this is what's going to get them to onboard millions of other people.
So you're going to have real estate agents that to start have a companion, And it's and you tell me at any point if I'm wrong, but they have a companion that is going to ultimately be a very, very smart companion. In fact, it'll be an expert every bit as much as the real estate agent who's talking to it and training it and feeding it info. Is that right? Just as a starting point?
Yeah, starting point, call it their repository, an intelligent repository of their book of business.
Yeah.
You're basically teaching your assistant to know everything.
Oh, it's so wild. It's so wild. And then it sounds like whether it's through ACP or maybe even behind the scenes in your own environment, there is going to be some kind of swarm environment. So we can talk ACP, but separate from ACP, do you have in your own backend some kind of interface where my agent talks to this realtor's agent and can talk to that? Does that already exist outside
Absolutely.
ACP? Wow.
Absolutely, it's going to start there. So I like your terminology of swarm. It's going to happen within the PrimoAI ecosystem. Everybody that accesses the mobile app is going to have access to this ecosystem where they can engage and they can set their agent loose within this ecosystem, and then it integrates eventually into ACP, which is on our roadmap for this year.
Oh man, I love that a lot. Now ACP stuff. Was doing some digging today. Like, okay, we have an agent that's in the ACP. It's going to be in the hedge fund. We like the public already knows about a second ACP cluster swarm. It's the media house, but like I think everybody's assumed there's going to be multiple clusters. Like, I mean, really an infinite number, but what they are, I don't think we knew yet. But this tweet kind of made its way out in the Xverse yesterday. And this looks pretty accurate. I think this is a real list, but I was scrolling this morning on a stream, and I'm looking through, and they all sound really cool, and they all make a ton of sense. And then I stop when I get to number 12, and it says real estate agency, unstoppable Zillow AI handles listings, valuations, mortgages, on-chain trade, all this stuff. And right then I stopped. And the guys watching right now know this is exactly how it played out. I stopped and I said, "Oh my God, guys. The dots connecting right here."
Yeah.
Is this a thing you're already working on? Are you already having making plans to be in the ACP? Like, is this being formalized, or is it already beyond that?
Absolutely. So in terms of, we are going to be part of the ACP. I'm going to call that an ecosystem as well. The services that are provided, I like the terminology of orchestration, because we're going to be, I consider this onboarding millions of agents that are going to have not only an appetite for real estate, all right, but they're going to have an appetite for all different kinds of things. And it's going to make what happens within the crypto ecosystem in general more real, because you're onboarding real world uses, not only maximizing crypto returns. It's going to onboard the tokenization of real estate, because real estate agents are going to be some of the disciples that start preaching the virtues of tokenization. Now, the real transactions that happen initially are going to be tokenized real estate assets, and those are mostly going to be income generating assets, like a piece of an apartment building that's represented by a token. All right, those are going to be yield bearing tokens, and provided that any agent and their user comply with our protocol, those can be traded easily by agents. In terms of the actual buying and selling of homes, that's going to be down the line, but that's going to be a huge opportunity as well, and we're in line to do that as well.
In the PrimoAI ecosystem, like a type of like RWA platform market, something like that.
Yeah, so let's say right now, and that's some of this stuff is, we talk about this in our agent description, and I'm not going to bore people with too many details on that, but there would be real estate tokenization of actual real world assets. We have relationships with funds that want to do that now. We'd integrate that into our platform so those can be traded by agents or individually by real estate agents to buyers and sellers. And eventually we'd want to integrate that into the ACP ecosystem. And just give you one use case, for example, there are a lot of fantastic agents out there that want to provide security or want to help people balance their crypto portfolios in a better way. Well, for years, I've been an advocate of balancing crypto portfolios with more stable assets as well. So you can have that return scenario set up that is risk minimized. And right now it's difficult to do that because not everything is happening on chain. As we do this, we're going to make that possible. And we want to orchestrate that kind of behavior where we're bringing on real world assets in tokenized form that allows some of the applications within the virtuals ecosystem to access those agents where you can help people buy and sell and balance those portfolios.
Man, incredible. Okay, I think I want to get deeper into RWAs, but I'm going to back us up a little first and talk about like the initial agents and the realtors who are going to be using these agents. First off, are they using the Primo token to, you know, buy an agent, mint an agent, whatever we want to call it?
No, they're not going to use the buy or mint an agent. So the Primo token we want to use is really the power to power this agent and the economy within Primo. So initially, and just backing up a little bit so I can expand on this, we view this as a combining of two communities. So my whole goal, and I haven't gotten too much of my background yet, but my whole goal is really to integrate real estate on chain, because I think it has enormous benefits for everyone if it is. And to do that in terms of, we feel we want to start with the crypto community because they understand the power that is in this ecosystem. They're passionate about it. They manifest the results with their positive vibes. I love it. They are going to get behind this protocol. We then go to the real estate community and show them the power of this because they are dying to see another market that they can integrate. Well, there's a huge market out there right now, people that act in the economy in a different way, and you're going to get access to that. The next big adoption phase then is those real estate agents in our network that's going to go out there and do that with the team we've assembled. And then it goes from there. But getting back to your initial point in terms of, you know, who's going to use this initially or how we're going to do that, again, it starts with real estate agents.
And then at some point as it grows, and I'm like reading live to see if it spells it out right here. If real estate agents are using it to start, is there a point then where customers, people who are shopping for homes, then interface with the agent too? Even if like, hey, the realtor's not available, you can ask a question to the agent, do some like some of your own research with the agent. Is that where this leads as well?
Yeah, so basically I'm glad you have the roadmap up their perspective. It starts with just the PrimoAI agent on X, and that's a way in which the crypto community, and I'm going to call it the novice community, can start interacting with each other and seeing what's going on. So part of that agent is autonomous. It's tweeting out alpha and insights that it finds on X, and then soon our proprietary databases that it's going to go through. The next portion of it is introducing the mobile app to real estate agents, letting them input data, access their dashboard. The next step is them inviting everyone else and everyone else being able to join. We want everybody to be able to join. So that's going to be crypto enthusiasts, like the ones that may be listening right now, they can join. Real estate agents join, everyone can join. And they're going to be able to start training their agents in September. Now, how they earn the Primo token, and that's one of the things you mentioned, I want to overlook that. The Primo token, we're looking to drive this entire movement. So as people start using the app, they're going to get the opportunity to start earning Primo tokens. And those tokens are going to be earned through participation. So from a real estate agent, participation means just working with the app, contributing data, powering your dashboard. From a buyer and seller perspective, earning tokens is going to be based on, interacting with it, telling it what you're looking for, making a connection with someone. Those are going to be ways in which they can earn tokens. Now, how they use those tokens, that token is ultimately going to be a DAO token. And that DAO token is going to control and manage the entire PrimoAI ecosystem. It's going to be able to decide the future investment opportunities, but not only that, value accrual of the token, because that's paramount. Buybacks, burns, all of that's going to be decided by the community. In terms of how they would use it within, there are many ways in which they're going to be able to do that, but a lot of it primarily is going to come down to staking as a way in which you get access to the actual app. So you have to have some kind of skin, and we're not going to make it a huge bar to stake. But staking will reap its rewards, but also ways in which they can simply transfer the PrimoAI tokens between each other for different types of services. And a lot of it will be sharing data. And that goes down to how we're integrating large teams of real estate agents. We want to make sure that it's a way in which they can feel that they're all being compensated. But not to be too long-winded, but to back up here. We tried a lot of this and experimented with it in traditional Web 2. And we didn't deploy it, but we talked to loads of real estate agents, just asking them what they want. And some of our partners, where we've been incubating this idea for years, talking to one of our early backers, his name is Nida Jones Church, and she built a huge brokerage in Southern California that was doing $30 billion in sales volume a year, managed 6,000 agents, ended up selling it to Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. She's been counseling us on this, as well as other members of our team. And in addition to the simplicity, she said, real estate agents are, they might be motivated by a bit of money. So if you launch this in a Web 2 environment, and by the way, she doesn't say Web 2, I'm saying that. If you launch this in a traditional environment, just paying agents, they're not really going to want to be paid for their data. They want opportunity. So what this token represents to them is not necessary. They're going to love to see the value. And if it skyrockets in value that I think it's going to, they're going to benefit from this. They're going to like the opportunity it gives them, the opportunity to generate business.
What is the maybe like sample size, or what is the pool of users that you have shown this to you? So you gave us like an example there. Is there, do you have like a pilot group of real estate agents who are already looking at this and either in it early or planning to get in on it as soon as it's live?
We've done our research over the past several years. In fact, one of the reasons why we haven't launched it yet is because every time we did an iteration, we felt that to do what we really wanted it to do, the technology wasn't there yet. So we kind of waited. And it's kind of come to this point, maybe over the past 6 months, actually, where the technology is finally caught up to the idea that we have. So
is the technology part the AI part of it?
It's the AI part of it, but also just the blockchain aspect of things. It's much easier to generate excitement through a token. Virtuals is amazing. It's an amazing community, and the product they developed is unique. I'm sure a lot of people are looking at this because there's very few barriers to entry in anything now. But it allows us to truly promote something and get scale quickly. It was difficult to do that before. So yeah, getting back to your question, yeah, we've tested it with a lot of agents, and we feel confident where the product is right now, based on what we have done within our position in terms of our founders, but also the work that Eric has done. And I haven't even mentioned one of our other founders, and I will in a second. But we feel comfortable where we are at this point, and that's going to be coming out in July.
Oh man, super, super cool. Dude, it's so interesting because okay, rolling back the clock to, we'll go years back. We'll go like 2020, 21, 22. For a lot of us that maybe had been in crypto, but NFTs were a thing that like unlocked ideas for us. A lot of us thought that real estate would be disrupted by NFTs. And if it wasn't like just NFTs specifically, and that's probably RWA kind of conversation, right? But we just knew there was something on the blockchain that had a fit here and in that it would kind of reshape industries. And again, this being one of them, and it didn't happen, right? It didn't happen yet. Yeah. It felt like it was a little too early. And man, over the past just couple of months here, I'm realizing AI is the missing piece. It is, for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because of the natural language interface, right? The ease of use that you speak to it and it gives you answers back, and you see like right in front of your face, how it can help you be productive. There's something about AI that is like, this is the tool that brings the masses here. It really is. Like, AI is that tool. And so starting with how many real estate agents, by the way, here maybe in the States?
Over a million. The estimates vary, but I'd say about 1.5 million real estate agents.
Yeah, it's just
across
fascinating.
all asset classes.
Man, I believe it. It's a big number, but we always talk. Okay, it's gamers. Gamers are going to come to crypto first because they understand games, and it's it's kind of true, but it's not happening. And then something like this comes along, and it's like, no, man, it's this million plus army of real estate agents who get the productivity tool that they get to use that natural language interface to make them better at their job. And again, I just see these dots connecting into something that makes so much sense. Just so much sense here.
Yeah.
What does this end up looking like scaled out? Let's go a year from now. Let's go like 2-3 years from now. What does Primo start looking like then?
In 2 or 3 years, we see Primo as being much sooner than this, but it will be a national platform. You will have millions of users every day interfacing with it. The number of buyers and sellers is going to dwarf real estate agents in the long run because there's just many more buyers and sellers. They will be using this as a tool to find opportunities and close on opportunities, transactions, whether it be an up or a down market, it doesn't matter. Transactions still happen. They'll be using this as a way to connect and close real estate deals. They'll also be using it as a way to share information. So in that time, we'll also be onboarding real world assets, not only from our own network, but any other network that is producing them, as long as they are compliant. And there's still regulatory controls over that. So real world assets will be traded. And then finally, a lot of the agents will be entering the ACP protocol because they can avail themselves to that. And they are going to be exploring more than real estate. They may have started and originated in PrimoAI, but they're going to go off into this entire other ecosystem, being exposed to all different kinds of things, whether it be productivity tools, web building, legal, title, all different kinds of things. We want other people to create solutions to the problems that we see in onboarding more people into real estate. We're not going to create the whole pie. We want other people to take bites out of this because, the way I see it, the one asset that everybody deals with at some point in their life is real estate. It doesn't matter if you're wealthy or you don't have any money. You might want to buy something, you might want to rent something, and you have to deal with somebody on the other end. You can't just do it all without a person. Well, these agents are going to help everybody interact. And getting back to your point, on real world assets, I've been involved in real world assets before the term RWA was even coined, when we used to just call them NFTs, and they got mischaracterized with art. And I too was one of those people that realized that, I realized that this is the answer, and it's so much more productive. It increases liquidity, transactions times are lowered, it makes them cheaper, it makes them more productive. And it just hasn't happened. But I will add this, yet. It makes too much sense for this not to happen. So I would tell everyone, just be patient. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And if you educate real estate agents on this possibility and this eventuality, of which they will gladly listen, they will gladly champion it because they can make money on it.
There you go. Yeah, especially when you abstract away like the super technical stuff, the confusing stuff, the blockchain stuff, all those terms. And again, it just goes back to the natural language. When it's as simple as you ask a question, you say, I want to buy this, and it does it for you, right? Then it's magic. And then all of a sudden it's, the light bulb goes off, the thing clicks. You're like, oh my God, you have that moment, right? Everybody's going to have that moment. We've had it in crypto, and we've had it in NFTs. And more recently, people have had it with, AI and these agents, and like everybody who is outside of this Web3 world and agent world, it's going to happen too when they get their hands on this stuff, which will be, we know it's coming. Again, we know it's coming. Are we going to get to the point where start to finish, we're going to see a potential home buyer interacting with an agent and doing their research through an agent and finding the house, their dream home through this agent, and they purchase the house through an agent, and it's all autonomous?
we've had a lot of internal debates about that. And I've talked to people, I'll call it the real world, so I can get some objectivity because I'm so in this now,
Appreciate
even though I
that.
come from that world, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you mentioned this at the beginning of our conversation about AI displacing everyone, you know, and you can listen to some, I'll call them futurists, you know, whether it be Peter Thiel or others talking about how this is going to be disrupted. And I kind of fall on his end of the spectrum that this has great potential, but it's probably going to move more slowly than people realize, and just in terms of world domination. Um, and real estate is one of those things where I would ask you, you know, let's say you had this all powerful agent that you have complete trust in, and you want to move, I don't know where you live, but let's say you want to move to, I don't know, Florida, you want to move Miami, you want to move into a high rise. You've never been to Miami. All right. And another agent says, this is perfect. You know, here's your stable coin. You're about to spend $800,000 on this condo or $1 million on this condo. You've never seen it. All right. Or maybe you can see it, but no person ever shows it to you. You just get a lockbox that automatically unlocks based on your phone, and you get to walk through and say, this is good. And you push a button and the transaction happens just like that. I don't think I'd be comfortable quite there yet. Would you?
No, not especially when if you're plugged in enough with AI and you know the whole machine hallucination issue.
Yeah.
No, definitely not yet. Definitely not yet. I'm with you there.
So, you know, the thing is, and I said, I'm not a real estate agent. I've worked around them most of my professional career, and they are as much a confidant as they are a source of information. They're your best friend when you're looking to buy or looking to sell, and at some point, you're going to want to meet them. And they are basically going to hold your hand at the very end because you're going to trust them not only for their knowledge, but also for the fact that they've done this before. So I see a future where a lot of this is automated, and the agents that are smart will use AI and this tool, PrimoAI, to make them much more productive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they're still going to be involved at some point down the line.
That makes a ton of sense. Okay, so if we're being honest, does this put some realtors' jobs at risk? Because some of these real estate agents are going to make that leap and dive into something like this and become 10 times, 50 times more productive than they've ever been. Maybe they get to learn a whole different market, an out-of-state market, a different type of real estate, like a different type of property, and they become an expert in that because, well, they're an expert in theirs. They've trained their agent. Now they have that's kind of supporting them on that side. It opens them up to do much, much more. The real estate agents who aren't taking advantage of these tools, again, is their career at risk if they don't jump onto something like this?
You know, I would compare this to almost any industry. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen some of these, like, you know, old time movies that take place in, I don't know, 18th century London, where they show a bank and you see rows upon rows of clerks writing in entries in a ledger, right? Well, all of those clerks are gone because we have something called Excel. And Excel is going to go very soon because we have agents, all right? It's going to displace, it's going to have some kind of creative destruction, I would say. Those people might not have the traditional job that they had in real estate, but they might have something else that they do. So I would say that this is definitely going to make agents who adopt this technology much more productive. I would also say that, you know, from a target of what people we talk to the majority of agents in that 1.5 million army. All right. And I'm not talking about the ones who you see on a park bench still that have complete domination of a certain region, that have a book of business. They don't really need anything else because they get calls. We're talking to the younger ones and the ones that have a middle business that are looking to expand, looking to grow. And this is a way in which they can do it. They're hungry. They're not sitting on an established business and just reaping the dividends. They're looking to grow. And this is where this tool is going to be particularly appealing to them.
Interesting. I wonder
that's
if
that's the majority.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I wonder if it levels the playing field, or it helps like maybe a newer realtor agent catch up and grow their expertise that much faster because they have such a powerful tool. That's
a good point. That's a good point. In fact, when you look at this, let's say, and I can talk a lot about this, but a lot of young agents they earn their mark by just diving into markets and working on big teams. Let's say they might have an agent team of, let's say, 5 people. And then the newest person would basically be supporting those other agents, and be compensated when closings occur, but they'd be responsible for a lot of the collecting of knowledge. This allows that lower agent to be able to leverage that knowledge, develop their own skill set, and start marketing that skill set, not taking away from the agents that are on the platform that have listings, but promoting themselves. And on PrimoAI, when any buyer or seller interacts with the website, they will immediately be able to see, based on what they're interested in, who are the top agents in this area, who has the most listings, who has the most closings, who has the greatest knowledge coefficient. Well, a knowledge coefficient comes from how you interact with the platform. Are you demonstrating that you have knowledge of certain regions? You will be promoted by that, and that allows you to generate business.
Oh, man, it's so cool. I don't feel right using like degen crypto terms on this. Like, I'm going to say it. I'm really bullish on this. I'm like selfishly hoping that percentage stays lower because I want to throw a lot of points at this and get a big old allocation. I really love this. All of that's to say, I really love this one. Again, we're seeing this matured virtuals ecosystem here because it's guys like you, like professionals, like experts in your industry coming in and building things that actually make sense. It's not building a thing for the sake of building a thing. It's building a thing because it enhances that industry and makes it better. So this kind of stuff just gets me excited as somebody who loves technology. So, man, I can't wait for later today to get in this one. Virtuals, give me my points, please, guys. Give me my points.
Hey, can I take a moment to just talk about some of the members of the team? Because this is something where this is not an easy effort to do. Like I said, we've been incubating it for a while now. So, our team was not an afterthought. Several years ago, about 5 years ago, I met a man named Dr. Sriram Vishwanath, and he's formerly at the University of Texas at Austin. He's at Georgia Tech now, and that's him down there. He's not on Twitter or on X, excuse me. He's the bottom right in our team. He's brilliant. I still remember when I first met him. I was helping a large brokerage in San Diego. I was helping them with market threats, and I was sharing with them what they can do because I have a background in helping large brokerages grow through analytics. And I was talking to him, and he said, this guy called me the other day, and he's coming down to meet me tomorrow. And he said a lot of things that sounded really interesting, but I think you'd hit it off with him. And walked Sriram. And we've had a great relationship ever since. He's steeped in AI and blockchain technologies, and he's my technical co-founder, and he's really leading the effort along with Eric to truly integrate the best tools that are available right now to create this swarm. We talk about that a bit in some of the tweets I've sent out, but also, or some of the posts I've sent out, but also some of the things in our agent overview. But he's a critical part of the team, along with Eric. And like I said, Nida Jones Church and Jack Willey, they are also steeped in real estate industry. And one of the things that's going to make this possible is not only the product we build, but our ability to scale it through agents. So as much as we want the crypto community to be excited about this and support this, and the entire virtuals community, we want agents to be excited about this. And they have great ideas about how we can integrate into the agent community, whether by word of mouth, speaking before large organizations, what we need to do to integrate. They have that presence nationally.
It's exciting, dude. Do you have any plan? Well, let me ask this. This agent is launching on base. The additional agents that launch in the PrimoAI ecosystem, are they going to be launched with tokens, or are those just kind of independent agents like within this ecosystem?
They're going to be independent agents within this ecosystem. I mean, everything, what used to be years is now months in terms of technological change and what people do at this point. So, we're open to what we need to do to make this platform successful. As it is right now, we're looking at PrimoAI being an agentic platform where people can come in, we create agents for them within this platform, and the PrimoAI token helps the agents establish commerce within the ecosystem.
Got it.
Where it goes in a few years, we'll see.
Dude, and you can't even predict that far, can you? I like that you leave it
No.
open like that, because who knows? We didn't even think this. Look, I think everybody knew AI was going to be as big as it is. Did we think this AI crypto thing was going to explode when it did last October, November? I don't know. It wasn't on my bingo card, you know? So I love that you're considering that. You're planning for the unknown here. Maybe last couple of questions here. Maybe there's more. And guys, anybody who's watching, if you have questions, please fire them off in the chat here. Hang on. Andrew, how I divide between babysitter, this guy. I mean, I'm right there too. Like, I am supporting babysitter. I'm absolutely smitten by this. This is a different caliber than I think most things we've seen on the platform. So I'm right there with you, Andrew. Okay, I'm looking over tokenomics, seeing if there's anything that just stands out where I have questions, and mostly no. Like, public sale amount looks great. 375 million tokens will be at the public sale. It looks like you've got a treasury, great. You got some for early backers, great. Marketing and growth. What's the community token? Is that kind of like incentive campaigns, maybe like tweeting partnerships, things like that?
Those are tokens that we're going to give the community who are adopting the platform.
Is that going to be the realtor community, or like the token holders maybe who are staking?
Most of that is going to go to the realty community. So you're talking about real estate agents, but also early adopters who are buyers and sellers.
Got it.
We are still in the midst of truly establishing the protocol as to how those and the amounts that will be earnable. But we want our community and the people that adopt early to be rewarded, and to start basically start lubricating the wheels of commerce within this ecosystem.
Yep.
We also want, because real estate agents, we believe, are going to be the backbone of what goes on in terms of data contributions of neighborhoods, and really being the people that initiate and facilitate a lot of the transactions. We want them to be a significant part of the DAO itself. We think that makes a lot of sense. So we want to reserve a number of tokens for them to earn. They can also buy them, obviously, just like everybody else will.
Yep. So. Okay. Wow. I like it a lot. I mean, I'm just liking everything about this. Let me think. I did have a question and I've kind of lost it. Let me see if it comes back. Oh, dude, this might not come back here. So let me think. Tokenomics wise, I believe the lockup on this is a 30-day lock. Does that sound right?
90.
90, even better. Going to let us grind out those points for 3 months here. That's beautiful. Okay. Yeah. I think the DGens will appreciate that for sure. Let me just ask, when could people start expecting more news about the maybe ACP integration?
Over the next several weeks and months. If you follow our at PrimoAI_agent, if you follow that agent, that's the best way to get updates. So not only do you get topical real estate news that's national and international based on what our agent uncovers, but you're also going to get updates of what's going on the platform itself. Cool. We like I said, we've been incubating this for some time. We've been building over the last 6 months. Deployment's going to happen rapidly, based on our roadmap, and we are going to start to move things forward as quickly as possible.
Very cool. All right, and my question did come back to me, which is, okay, usually here, it's essential to build a community, keep a community engaged, right? Sometimes reward them, but again, it is important to foster these communities. I want to hear maybe how you're thinking about that community building, where I'll be honest, I don't know if you do have to do that, being that your clients, your users are kind of not crypto people yet. I think they're about to be because of this. But if your audience is, again, those real estate agents, maybe you don't have to do the whole community side, the crypto community. But I'm curious what your thoughts are about that.
Absolutely, we have to do the crypto community. Absolutely. I'll say that again. Absolutely. This is a joining of two communities. And I want to state this again. I'm a real estate junkie, and I've been in it for the majority of my career. and I'm a junkie for analytics, and it's what I've used to build companies. But I am part of the crypto community now. I want that passion to be joined with the passion in real estate. All right. They're both communities of dreamers. They believe in what is possible. They're extremely positive, and I want to reward both communities in this platform. And if you look at a lot of the people that are going to be buying these tokens, hey, go in, invest, purchase these tokens. It's a good bet. But you're also going to be users of this platform, because every person that's on this platform is going to at some point buy something. They might rent a place, they might buy a place. If you interact with the platform, there are opportunities for you to use your PrimoAI tokens or to earn PrimoAI tokens in both communities. And secondly, I want to address the needs and the desires of the crypto community, because that better positions, I'll call it the traditional world, to integrate, because again, we're integrating two different communities here.
But could you speak real quick to it? I'm going to let you go because I kept you way longer than I thought I would, so I apologize for that. Just briefly, your background in crypto, how long you've been in, when you got in your aha moment for crypto.
Yeah, I'll talk. More than happy to talk about that. So basically, I've been involved in real estate primarily just in terms of growing large brokerages through the use of analytics, establishing relationships between equity partners, big equity funds like Carlyle Group and some of them, with large builders of high rises or single family detached tracts to grow brokerages. All right. And these brokerages are agentic, meaning they have real estate agents, but I'm not an agent. I'm more of a growth specialist. And as I worked through the upswings and the downswings of the market, whether trying to maximize returns on home sales and analytics when the market is good, or just participating in auctions and advising people on how to save their positions when the market goes down, I've kept my eyes on new opportunities. And the thing about real estate is real estate's always been a little bit backwards. It's never had the best analytics, and it's kind of shocking to me when I got out of graduate school. It's never had the best data. So I've always been trying to improve that so we can have better outcomes. And about 2018, I started keeping my eye on crypto when I was involved in some crowdfunding companies. And I thought, wow, blockchain is going to be something great. And it really clicked for me when I met Dr. Shiram Vishwanath in about 2020. And we started talking, and I kept my eye on tokenization of real estate, but it was still so early. And we had an idea at that point, well, why don't we create NFTs of real estate? Well, why don't we create NFTs of leases that can be transferable? And we put a ton of effort into that. And it's still an idea that we have on the back burner. But that's where it clicked for me about 2020, and talking to some people that were actually building in the crypto community. So it wasn't necessarily, I followed the movement from a DGEM perspective, but it really clicked for me when I started talking to people that were building the infrastructure. And that's when I developed great relationships. People are on our advisory committee that are developing L1 chains that believe in this as well. And it got me hooked, and I've been there ever since.
It's a magic thing that's happening here, isn't it, man? It's definitely something special, and just keeps evolving and growing, and it's growing and evolving into things like this. I think we're looking at a really, really special one. Man, I'm rooting for you guys really, really hard. I can't wait to see this cross that 100%. I can't fathom it not. And I'll be doing my part to get it there too, as will I think a lot of my community and audience too. But dude, I got to say thank you for joining and explaining and sharing this really incredible product and ecosystem. I don't even know what we call these at this point, because they're just these like sprawling, evolving things. But Primo is awesome, dude. So thank you for sharing. And if there's any other final points that maybe we didn't ask or get across, I mean, feel free.
No, I would just say thanks for having us. This is a great program. Loved getting the opportunity to talk with you about our vision. And I would just say to the community, we're the start of what's going to happen. The real world is going to come on chain. The real world is going to be integrated, and be a part of it, because we're attacking the biggest part of the real world with a simple application. It's a $70 trillion market.
Damn. It's a big one. It's a big one.
It's a big one.
Very hard to disrupt it, and but it's disrupt it and help it. It's actually making it better. So really,
We're
really,
doing
really
it in the simplest way. We're disrupting it with the biggest flag bearers, the real estate agents.
Yeah. Just incredible. Well, Jeff, again, thank you. Eric, thank you to you as well. If you had any final words, if not, totally okay.
No, thank you very much. Thanks for having us on. This is exciting.
Dude, really, really, really is. Here you guys go. It is, let me see. It's PrimoAI_agent. Go find it on X, and I'm going to drop that in the chat here for you guys. What's up, Carbon? I see you, buddy. It's good to see you, actually. And then, of course, on virtuals, this is open for another, let's say, about 20 hours. Again, I know there's an issue on the virtuals platform. Some people are waiting for a bunch of points. That's me, too. And so if you guys didn't know there was an issue, so there's probably going to be a bunch of points released that then work their way over to Primo. Again, that's certainly my case here. But I'll be watching. I'll be rooting for you. You guys are welcome back anytime to share some updates with Primo and what you guys are building. But man, just thank you again, and best of luck to you guys.
Hey, thank you very much for having us. Let's stay in touch. Would love to come back on again.
Love it. All right. And to you guys watching, let's see. I think this is, well, I was going to say, I think it's our final show of the day. It might not be. I think we got another builder coming on. We'll see. I'll keep you updated. So just follow everything. Again, follow Primo, follow the Swarm_AI, and then, of course, CryptoSlam over on YouTube. Fam, we'll see you later on. Peace.
Hey, thanks. See you.